Red Willow Vineyard sits at the far western end of Washington's Yakima Valley. The drive out Wapata Road takes you through farmland with rolling ridges on either side like giant sleeping lions. Mount Adams looms larger and larger ahead, even as it slips behind the ridgeline. You come almost to the end of where there is green commercial agriculture, and there you find Red Willow Vineyard. This iconic and historic vineyard is unassuming. We drive in and find Jonathan Sauer there to greet us. He is humble and excited to have us and show us the vineyard. We gather our camera gear, climb onto the ATV, and he drives us up the hill into the vineyard.
For most of our blocks, we got little signs. There's a straw and then some below.
So this block, we're down from the chapel now. So what is this block?
So we call this the saddle.
The saddle, okay.
And then this is the peninsula. It's a great place to be a grower. So we kind of stopped here I want to show you some of the soil layers. We're a high elevation vineyard. We were like one of the higher ones. Increasingly, you're seeing a lot of the higher vineyards going in. So we're right at the shop would be about 1,100 feet.
Okay. Wow.
And the very high end actually would be we call it our Marcoux block.
Okay.
The very top of that vineyard would be about 1,300 feet. So we're kind of in that range. And what's really interesting is about a third of the way up the hill. You guys are, I'm sure, heard the story of the Great Lake Missoula Floods.
Yes, the Missoula
and everything.
Floods.
Okay, so the floods would have washed into about a third of the way up that hill.
Wow. So this all sits above floodplain.
So
wow.
Yeah, so you have all these kind of ancient uplift soils, and a lot of these predate like cascades, and they're like millions of year old soils. I've heard a lot of geologists talk about it. I wish I could repeat it really well, but I'm kind of parroting some of the things I've heard. But you get to see all of these different stratas. The one really unique thing, the Red Willow, you find a lot of this pumice stone.
Oh yeah,
and
that is.
So it's just like really light,
Super
and
light.
It's more of a kind of a direct projectile right out of the volcanoes.
So this is more
you
kind of
don't
goes
find
with the
it
ash.
really far away.
Ah.
And so it's just kind of a lot of this pumice intermixed. There's evidence that the Columbia River, before it was moved south, actually went through here, a lot of the stone areas, and it's just an incredible diversity that you find in a lot of our soils and sites. So yeah, you see a lot of that compressed ash. Actually have a lot of Washington soils are a little more sand or whatnot, and actually have a degree of clay about them. They're not a clay soil, but they're as soils age, your aggregate gets smaller and smaller. So they're so old they actually are really small aggregates. They have a degree of clay in some of these on the west side. So there's a lot of mineral content in that. So as we farm it, we're just trying to showcase what that soil will give and bring. So we really want an active biological soil, and we're always kind of thinking about that and trying to just do things really minimally in everything that we do.
So this is the Sangiovese.
We've got 2 rows.
Two
right
rows?
here.
Okay, gotcha.
In fact, I think this is probably the first Sangiovese in the state, or some of the first.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Up in the Marcoux block, we've got a fair amount of Sangio. It's a great variety. Up here, we got a lot of Cab and Merlot. This is more of the starting of the vineyard. Dad started on the very next to the sagebrush and kind of came this way.
Okay. So the Peninsula block was actually the first plantings.
In 73.
73, wow.
He actually planted some in 71, some Chenin Blanc, I think, and Semillon. And it was he planted 30 acres of Concords and tried some wine grapes.
Right.
And they froze out.
Oh.
And I guess that was our first lesson. Put them on the hills,
There
out
you
of the good fertile soil.
Right.